CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
Or is it terrible, or is it just good? Because we don't want to be low, really low today, and we cannot do the program as we had the issues last week. We'd like to say good morning to Alban Harris. He says good morning to Jester, Claire, CJ, and the Take Five family. Good morning from Mr. William at WIBS WiBS, which is 107.5. Lorna Bain says good morning to you, Jester and CJ, and the Take Five listeners. Mary Olavachi, buongiorno. She's saying a pleasant morning to each and every one of us. So we are on and we are seeing the messages are coming through. So we'd like to keep it that way. And just the program today, as you know, what are we talking about?
Men in silence?
Men in silence? Is that what it is? I thought it was men and mental health stigma. And why do men suffer in silence? Don't say men and silence. It's not just men and silence. It is men who suffer.
That one will boil back down to
Suffer. Oh, it didn't boil down to that because
Back down to-
what's losing men in silence. A lot of men could be in silence. Let me just go to my notebook here and continue to say good morning to Marlon Klein. Good morning to Faithlin Holly Douglas. Bernadette Abraham, good morning to you. Coffee in the morning, good morning. I know you're on your way somewhere, but good morning. And I always checked in. Daphne Date and the family in Toronto, which is Arlene, Ethan, and Olivia. The Glenn family. You're going to say good morning to the Glenn family, Jester?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Good morning to the Clean family out there in Boston. Yeah.
Boston now?
Yeah, Boston.
Oh, the Glenn family are the traveling family? Traveling agents?
No, Clay. Actually, it was in Boston. It was
Not Texas?
no,
So you're not giving wrong information.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
I apologize there in Boston.
You have to apologize big and more than once. Boston.
Yeah,
Boston Tea Party. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Good morning to NP. Lorna Bain. Mary in Toronto, good morning. Junior out there on the hill in Grandytown, good morning. Good morning, Duchess. Good morning, Donna Sandy. Trisha Ganes. Mr. Snag, Mr. Nicholas Snag, our good friend, good morning to you. Good morning to Ken Rowell. You know, she just prayed. Good morning, Bandy, Ruth, Olinga, and Samuel. I think I got it all right. Let me know, Bandy. Good morning to my neighbor, Mr. Loxley John. I know that you have checked in. Good morning to the Pear family out there in Paraclete, which is Pat Pear, William Pear, Michael Pear, and the whole Pear clan sitting there listening to us this morning, hopefully. Good morning to my good friend, Miss Buddy, in the chat. Antonia Francois, I met her just last week. And she said she came into the store and she says, I know who you are. And I said, really? She says, yes, I am Antonia Francois. I said, really? So big hug and everything. So I met her and I told her to subscribe, so she's going to listen. Young Sang, good morning. The Cashew Tree crew, the principal, the staff, the janitor, everybody under the cashew tree, especially to Silverly and Bobandy. Good morning, Anne Bernard and Radio Man. Patrick James, good morning to you. Good morning to Pat Augustin Belfon. He was here with us yesterday, and then he is now back on his regular soil. He left. Good morning to Annie. Annie left also. Good morning to Archer. He's departing today. All my peeps and them are taking off. Good morning to Sherry out there in Maryland. Wendy in Toronto. Hope to see you soon. So, Jester, I know I leave the rest of your people to you, your peeps. And you know who they are, so knock yourself out.
Well, let me say good morning to Gordon Bushes, Richardson out there. Alistair Aito Dubois. Yeah. Elvis Patrick. Yeah, he's taken for a funeral of his brother. Taking place on Thursday. Yeah.
So, and I forgot to say good morning to Hillary and Ganpot. He was here for his sister's funeral also. Sometimes when you see our folks, it's just because they come for some sort of activity, some festival, or it's something, that we do not want to talk about. But it is the reality of life.
Winted John.
Yes. Good morning to you.
Moose Charles. He also carries Bartholomew from his father's side.
Bartholomew? Okay, yes. So, let me say good morning to SBW. If you're up and running, good morning to you. And let me not forget, good morning to my namesake, Claire down there.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to make mention
say good morning. You could still say good morning.
What about
Yes.
the Hill Street people, man?
That's your people right there. They're waiting for you still. Let me say good morning to Caris. Let me tell you, Caris is my dear friend. Caris comes by me every day, get my big hug and everything. Caris' mother give me, hey, how are you doing? But she's your friend because you're the one that torment the lady, not me.
Guys, come and buy a roast gun the last time we fight. I say, well, go buy the corn for me and go back and check mommy.
Really? Just so you playing?
Silly, how would I kill her?
Of course, of course. Especially when she takes your money and buy something for you that is
Yeah,
the lady every day.
Silly, I would have killed her. And then some.
Yes, yes.
But good morning, a special good morning to the Robinson family in Hill Street, man. Yeah.
Yes. You know, let me say good morning, a special good morning, and I cannot thank him enough. My tall, 6'5" son. I think he's taller than that, right? You think he's taller than that?
6 feet 5?
And
I
then
don't think he's taller than that.
you don't think he's taller than that? I say taller than that. What do you mean?
I don't think so. Looking at him, I had the opportunity of seeing him,
Well, we all see him.
right? And
Spain.
I am telling you that I don't think
He's taller
that
than
he's
6'5".
taller than 6 feet 5.
Well, let me tell you, when I stand close to him, I'll stand close to him. I go on the side, I stand far, so I don't look so much like a
Yeah,
dwarf.
but you're a quarter battle, so
Hush. Listen, I love my quarter bottle. I can fit in anywhere, go anywhere, and still look at the people from a distance. That's a-okay. But let me tell you, Jester, I started to beat the pavement again.
yeah, that's
And
good.
oh my gosh, the first day when I did it, it was like when I got to the corner of middle of the corner there, my legs were on fire. You know, when you eat your legs itches, it was on fire. And I'm like, ooh. And I know what caused it because I did not beat the pavement for a while. I didn't go that distance for a while. So I just rubbed it. I keep walking and people must be saying, well, what wrong with her? She bent down rubbing like that. But I was rubbing it because it was really, really, really bad. But then I continued and then the blood settled in my body and I got, and I did it a couple months. So I am way ahead of you, Jester.
No, I started back in the park already too,
Oh,
but
you
I
did?
must say that my program has been hindered due to the frequent rainfall that we have.
Yes.
Not just the frequency of it, the large volume of rainfall we've been having as well. So
Well, let me tell you how I do mine. If it starts to rain from here, I won't go walking. But if I'm over there and it's raining, I walk. I continue walking in the rain. But I have it. I bring my shower cap. So I put it on my head, put my cap on, and I continue walking because there's nothing that feels better than when the rain is hitting your body while you're walking because you're warm and the rain, so you feel really, really good. So I am okay to say that I am back on that track. And you know, last night I sat there walking the dog and I see my thing here, and I'm like, yikes! I could wash on this side and rinse on that side. But then I say, hear me now. People pay money to get collarbone like this, and I getting it free. Why am I complaining? You see here? That means you are working.
there's something I want to do. How was your weekend?
Can you say I'd hang up right? Oh, by the way, you always say that you want to take me for assessment at the Pink House. You don't mind taking me to dinner? I need assessment today, today, today.
Cheaply, that's why you want to convince me to go to St. George.
Oh, yes. Take me for assessment. I don't mind getting
Oh
the
my
assessment today
gosh.
because you can take me to St. George's today. You take me to the Pink House, and then I say, bye, just and go about your business, and I go do my business.
I don't,
But assessment is up in the air.
I don't think that will work. But we'll see how it goes.
I tried. I mean, nobody cannot blame me
See
for
how it
trying here.
goes.
I tried.
See how it goes.
So,
Uh,
so we're
no,
going
hold on.
Hmm?
So you finished the weekend. I asked you how was the weekend. You're ready to dive into that. We're taking a break before we dive into that.
The weekend?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what happened yesterday. Oh, the weekend. The weekend was when Friday, Saturday. You see, I woke up on Saturdays. I only have one day free, so I don't know if it's a weekend or if it's a weekday or midweek. But what did I do? Um, I planted. I did my garden. I told you I got tires to
Yeah.
make as a thing for my plants. So I didn't realize that I was that strong, eh? Because the tires, you get them, you cut them around, so you get a nice planter. And then you have to flip it on the outside. You take the outside and you flip it so you come inside and you get a nice thing. And I sweat, let me tell you, I didn't know if I had all that water in my body. I sweat because I cut it. I took one of the blow thing that you light the stove with, warm, hit up the knife and punch it high and then take a jagged edged knife and cut around it. And then when I flipped one side and then I couldn't do the other side just like the tie stuff. So I had to stand on it, walk my way towards where it is and just flip it. When I finished, I said, okay, Claire, I am not going to doubt you anymore. You are a strong individual. When I told the guy that I did it, he says, well, you're not only independent for independent, but you have some strength. I said, yes. So I did that. So that was my weekend. I planted things and what else I do? I bathed Storm. Storm, I'm not letting go Storm anytime soon.
Storm miserable too much, man.
Leave my puppy alone. He's still a puppy. He just turned 1 year old in human years. I don't know how old he's in dog years. But when I bathed him, I shampooed him and everything. I dried him up and he took off 10 times around the house. And then I had to brace myself because when he jumps on me, he can move me back. But my baby is such a baby. And let me tell you what I love about him. He's not no kind of dog that backing anything he see. Dogs could be backing up the road. He doesn't mind. He don't care. Anytime he backs, I have to take a peek to see what he's backing at. That's my baby Storm.
Well, my weekend was
I didn't ask you how was your weekend, did I?
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
Okay, go right ahead. Go ahead.
Walk, normal walk, electrical walk, and done. But I always look forward to the night because football, 40 plus football is at its very best that the River Sally playing field. I mean,
Okay.
who have not yet come out, I encourage you to come out. The quarterfinal starts from this evening. Yeah, 2 games. That continues tomorrow, please God, as well. We skip Thursday, and then the semifinals would be on Friday.
Okay.
Saturday's off, and then the finals. Third place playoff and the final is on Sunday, God's will. Yeah, so that is something that the members of the community of Riverside, Latas, and the surrounding areas, and of course, people at large, you're invited to come out.
And you know, I would never come to any game again with you, Jester.
That's your business.
Never. Because people, if you know what he did to me, one day I'm inside, they say, Claire, let's go see football. I said, what? Let's go see football. I said, where? He says, in Riverside. I said, okay, so I get myself ready and when he is announcing on the mic, all I hear was, good night, everybody, and thank you for all of those who come to support football, even including people that never show up to see football game. Claire, I said, what? He said, you did just call my name and say, he rolled me under the bus. So you know what? I said, that's it. I am never, ever, ever coming to no game with you to say I'm going to watch football with you or anything. Nah. I retire. I quit. I fire the job according to the. But just let me tell you something. You know I don't drink alcohol, right?
No.
But I eat it, but I ain't started with it yet. But you know I don't drink alcohol. But yesterday, Sunday I was talking to someone and they're making local wines. And they have flavors like cherry, sorrel and Bourbon-Day, golden apple and golden guava and Bourbon-Day, pineapple, wax apple, caramel. And I had 2 samples. I couldn't go more. 2 samples. It's really, really good. And the name of it's called Golden Sunrise. And if anybody wants to get a local made wine, we have a number that you can call to get it, and it's, I'm telling you, I don't drink alcohol, as I say, but this one is really, really good. So it's Golden Sunrise, and it's a product from Carriacou, and it's 100% natural.
Yeah.
Or natural. So if you want to think, I'll give you the number later on so that you can call and place your order because it tastes good.
It seems as if you may be an agent for that business.
No. An agent from myself because I taste it. Let me tell you something. I do not talk about things that I cannot come and tell you, oh, just take this. And I didn't taste it myself or I didn't try it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to buy no cat in bag.
Recommend food.
Exactly. I could say you can try. I even promised my tall son one. I say, which one would you like? He tell me any one of them because all sound good. So I'm going to get him a bottle.
Before you dive into the topic, I'm begging for a break here, son.
What break is that now? What do you want?
Just saying, just a minute or so now. So you have to make people know why you like that. We'll take a break and then we'll come right back into the topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
You want to take a break? Jester. Well, what am I going to do with him? You want to take a break and...
With CJ and Jester. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
As boys. We cannot leave that out because as boys, many of us were taught that men shouldn't cry. Men have to be this hard, kind of people to be able to take things and inside. And because if you cry or if you let it out, it means that you're a sissy, you're a soft person, and so we have been taught that. So it is based on how we were socialized, really. And so we cannot leave that out. I think perhaps this is the first reason. It has to do with socialization. And then because of that, we find that we have been taught to keep everything inside. So men we grown from we grew up from boys, become men, and we feel that to tell others our problems and to relate to others, and so is this is something for girls. For women do that. Men should hold things inside. Men should be the people who should just you know take things without complaining. And so I think socialization is perhaps the first issue that needs to be address when we're looking at why men suffer in silence.
Thank you so very much. You hit the
Thank you
nail
so much.
on the head, and we'll continue from where you left out.
I guess
Thank
much
you.
he will call back.
You will call back. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
So, now, men and the mental health stigma, and why do men suffer men choose to suffer in silence? We just got a synopsis of why you think that men suffer in silence. So let's go into it now. It says quiet, resilient, and tough. They are told that being manly means being aggressive, powerful, and never showing any weakness. These gender stereotypes contribute to the notion of toxic masculinity. And I will explain what toxic masculinity is. Toxic masculinity is the way men are culturally trained and socially pressured to behave. Its three core tenets: toughness, anti femininity, and power range in expression from person to person, but all combine to create the sense of manliness. So here we start with it already, how the men were created or how they were taught to be who they are today. And it's a detriment to most men because, as the caller said earlier, there's that thing, if you cry, you weak. You're supposed to just hold it inside and not say what it is. So today, what we're really trying to do is to break that barrier so that
Yeah.
men can really tell themselves, if I cry, it's not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that I am strong. That's why I could do this. Because we are all just, all of us are made with emotions. Each
So
and every one of us.
the thing is, right? That was culturally instilled in us from
Mhm.
way back. Now, the question is, I wonder how easy or how difficult it may be to change that sort of perception because that really should not be that of what was instilled in us as boys or as men.
Mm. You see, the thing is, I personally think that we are creature of habits. We all are. When things are, we have some things one way, we do not want to make any changes. But if it's for the benefit of yourself to make yourself better, I'm not saying that you're going to do it drastically. It takes one bite at a time to eat an elephant. So you make subtle changes, small changes, and before you know it, you'll change how you feel. Because if I just come to have a conversation with you and you start telling me what it is that you're going through, this is the first step in telling me you're ready to talk to make a change because you're talking about it instead of keeping it in there. Am I right?
Of course, you are correct. But it is always also important to state that boys, men, if the emotions of certain things are getting over you, it's okay to cry. It
Totally.
is okay to cry. It's okay to let it out, you know,
Mm.
and not stay in that sort of perception that was once instilled in us from decades ago that, you don't have to cry. So like, no, no.
Jenny just checked in and she said she's listening to us on her walk. So she walks to clear her head. That is where she thinks. Mary says, "Good morning, CJ and Jester. You guys looks like Christmas. Have a blessed program." Toronto. Thank you, Mary. But Christmas, let me see.
And I think most of the time I realize you and I dress code, and people may probably think that we plan. It's just pure coincidence.
And I kind of don't like that.
I don't know.
I really like that. I don't want to be in same dress like you. What's gonna think of that? But yes, we do not plan. We just
Yeah.
appear, and he has his flower thing, and I have my flower thing because we believe in flower power today. So here it says here are the definitions of three aforementioned. Toughness. Men are strong, aggressive, and emotionally hardened. Anti-femininity. Men reject any and all feminine traits, including most emotion, accepting help, and domesticity. Power. Men are worthy only if they have money, power, status, and influence. These messages can eventually get internalized and lead to men having difficulty expressing their feelings and emotions later in life. Additionally, it can make it more challenging for men to identify and acknowledge their mental health concerns and throw up emotions like guilt and shame in asking for help. This can lead to additional mental health conditions and men having a harder time seeking treatment. This is quite true.
This is just so true, Claire. This is just so true. Yeah.
Be- just
Because men feel after a while they accumulate so much in life, wealth wise, assets, whether be it monetary or in whatever form, they become so all high and mighty. And then
Mhm.
so when it all come back to that sort of pride, you know, that they feel if they go that route, it's like, they are letting down something of them. And that's my way of assessing the whole thing.
That's true. As it says, pride comes before a crash. So even though you hold it inside, the crash wouldn't say like you crash in a car, you crash mentally. Because how much can you take before you blow? Before it all fall apart on you. So yes, we are saying that you don't have to spill your guts to every Tom, Dick, or Harry, but you need to talk to someone. And if you do not have a good friend that you want to talk to, that's why we have therapists. That's why we have people that we pay the big bucks to go sit and talk to so that we can get some clarity on what it is that we are dealing with. And when men, as you say, when they reach power, they have it all. We have a call again. Let's take it. Good morning.
Good morning. Uh,
Good morning.
Listen, we asked the question was asked, how can we change this issue with men and hello?
Yes, go ahead. We're
Yes,
listening.
we're hearing.
How can we change? What you are doing is part of the whole question of education. Education has to be um, the way forward to change that because society has has largely accepted that men are not supposed to cry and men are supposed to be strong kind of people. So and let me give you an example. If a woman is being harassed by a man and she goes to the police,
Hold on, the caller. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
the police will generally accept her complaint as a normal thing. But if a man goes to the police and says, listen, I'm being harassed by a woman, most likely the police are going to, and even if they take the complaint, they are going to have some kind of negative views towards that man. How can a man be complaining that he's been harassed by a woman and so?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be education. It has to start with what you are doing. And I'm glad that there is a ministry now that is paying emphasis on mental health issues and so, but we have to take it from um, the school level and so to let our boys know that it is okay to cry, it is okay to tell, it is okay to to relate to somebody else. But there is something also that we must pay attention to. The question of father absenteeism is a big issue. And when our boys are being, uh, they are growing up and only having a feminine figurehead in the home and in a lot of instances in the schools, we have a problem. So there are a number of issues that need to be dealt with, but I think education is the first part, and so what you're doing is the first step in ensuring that we can change what has been the case all over the years.
Thank you so very much. Couldn't
Okay.
have said it better.
Why is that voice sounding so familiar with?
It is a familiar
Yeah,
voice.
and that voice, if it's the person who I'm thinking of,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we school together,
Yes, could
and
be.
I know that form three going up with brilliant batch of
No
students
name in the
back
mass,
then.
okay? No name
No,
in the
no, no.
mass.
I know, no, no, I know that definitely I wouldn't call it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
But he is bringing up some
yeah.
valid points.
Oh yes.
And the thing is, when, as he says, a lot of young men grow up with just a mother, and it happens, most of us in the Caribbean grew up with just our mothers or grandmothers. The fathers, most fathers was not present in the life of all of us or most of us growing up. So some of us grow up to be strong, independent women because of what we see and how we wanted to make the changes in our lives. And a point that you bring up, and we always talk about it, Jester, if a woman goes to the police station and report that she's been harassed or abused, they take this seriously because guess what? We women are the weaker form of the species.
Yeah.
If a man goes, they call him yellow and all this kind of. But sometimes we
They laugh
women
at me, man.
abuse men, and because they know their rights, or so they think they know their rights, they use that. But it is not fair because give everybody a fair shake when you go to the police station and make a report. Take it seriously because, and even in Canada, just there's something the domestic violence. If I go to the police station and report that, okay, my husband slapped me, obviously the police come in because I went first. Whether he slapped me first or I slapped him first, they will go with him. You know why? Because they said we have to separate from him. And most times it is the woman that instigates the fight because we talk and then answer, so we get all aggressive. But the thing is, sometimes we are the wrong party. And when and why you think that most women, after a while, they do not press charges when they go to court, they say, oh, I don't want to press any charges because it's a guilt that causes us to not press charges because they know the person didn't do anything wrong to us. But the law is somebody got to go. Somebody got to leave the house that time when the police appears.
Yeah, and you also make the point about how important it is for a father figure to be in the home. Because what usually tend to happen, and we have quite a lot of that, we have mothers are left to for the upbringing of children on their own, and especially in the cases of boy children, because after a while, when these boys start growing into into
Adulthood.
the teens and everything, and the voice, these voices start rolling like thunder,
Mm-hmm.
you find that their own mother, they are starting to come, in most instances, not in all, they come back and start really being timid towards them and more or less humbling themselves to that rolling voice that is out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, if you have a figure, a father figure in the home, right? He will take control of that kind of thing and I'm stepping in. So it is so very important for a father figure to be in the upbringing of children,
It is.
particularly boy children.
You mean good father figure?
Well,
Because there are some fathers that
yeah,
are in the home
yeah.
and the figure is not showing properly at all because
That might
they
be true
too
too.
abuse their children
Yeah.
and make them feel less of a person because they will say, especially if they get hurt or something like that and they cry because they're toe hurting and so, boy, come stop this stupidness. You're not supposed to cry. You're a big man. Take that and hold your breath and just they're not making you feel better. They make you feel worse. So sometimes a home without a father, without a good father, is better the mother alone. No, I'm serious. Better the mother alone look after the child because then they get better care. Am I saying something that is
No,
wrong
no,
though?
no, no. I understand you. We are just looking at it from a general stand.
Yes, but you have to look at it that's the general standpoint too, because we may think that yes, and I applaud the fact that we need more father figures in our children life, especially boys. But we also have to look at the big picture of it because sometimes you have a father figure in your life that is not being positive to you at all.
Yes, it does happen too.
Right. So let's go the link between male mental health stigma and suicide. It says stigma is a set of negative and often unfair beliefs that society or group of people have about something. It happens when a person defines someone by their illness rather than who they are as an individual. That is such a powerful point. Depression and suicide are one of the leading causes of death among men, and yet they're still far less likely to seek mental health treatment than women. In the US alone, male deaths represent 79% of suicide, amounting to roughly 105 men who die by suicide every day. Further, American men suffering from mental illness are also 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Many barriers stand in the way of men getting mental health care, and stigma is one of the most prominent reasons. This stigma can be both public or social, as well as self stigma about seeking professional help. Ending the stigma around male mental health can help reduce the risk of suicide in men. Sharing stories and raising awareness on this issue can play a significant role in developing social acceptance and enabling men to feel more comfortable seeking the treatment they need. And we're coming back to the caller again. You, you have to talk about, it says about the social part of it and suicide. We see people just that they look happy today, but inside, no one knows what is going on, their personal struggle. And if You and I do not give them a listening ear. Instead of telling them, man, that is small thing. Tomorrow, so you will get over that. This is not what we, and I'm saying we as human beings want to hear, especially when we're going through this. You spoke earlier about men when they're powerful, they climb the ladder, they reach there. And they tell themselves, oh, I have money, I could do whatever I want. Who tell anybody that I'm weak? Oh, what make them think that I'm going through this? Money has nothing to do with your emotion or your mental health.
You need to song that again.
Money has nothing to do with your emotional, mental health. You can have all the money and more money on planet Earth. And if you are not happy mentally, you would not survive. You will not. Because you will always be looking for self gratification. Oh, I have money. Who is Jester to tell me something? Who is Claire to tell me this? Because I am all powerful. But at the end of the day, when you go and lie in your bed, you're staring at the ceiling at night because you cannot come to terms with what is going on in your life. And if Nicholas Snack called today, he will tell you that he has been an advocate for men's mental health for me to continue talking about it because there are a lot of men just that live in their homes with their wives, their family. They go to work. At the end of the day, they would not go home. They go to the rum shop or they go and hang out. They get drunk. They go home. They throw themselves in the bed or they look their wife with confusion. They beat the daylight out of her. And then that's it. The next day, it's a vicious cycle because they refuse to talk about what is happening to them emotionally. And when they cannot take it anymore, they take the coward way out. They die by suicide. And this is why you and I are continuing to do this program on mental health. Because if we can save just one person just from doing the things that we are talking about today, it will make a change in a lot of people's life. Because it is a very sad thing for you to have your life living today and then you tell yourself there is no hope for me and you end it.
Claire, this is just so true. Going back to what you say in terms of men and their accumulation of wealth and things. Um, they're all riding so high at one time, and sometimes just one little thing, just one little thing, come and just change the whole nature of the way in which they used to be enjoying life in a sense,
Yes.
because they never thought of it in such a way. They never, could have imagined that such thing would ever happen. And because they never thought about it in such a way, they never knew how to deal with it. They didn't seek guidance and help on it. And as you say, in some instances, they just seek the coward way out.
Mm-hmm. Someone just wrote, these days, confidentiality is one of the contributing factors to suicide, whether in older men or younger boys. Confidentiality. And that's what we talk about that again every time. When you go to someone and talk to them in confidence, it is supposed to stay in confidence. As their saying goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
When I come to you, Justin, and I say something to you, I expect you to keep it because I came to you in confidence. If I wanted everybody to know, I was going to borrow Ali's bullhorn, drive around in his car, and say what it is so everybody knows. You have to learn to be confident and have let people have trust in you. So when you say something to them, it stays. And not saying, oh, my chest is not a bank. I not to keep nothing what nobody tell me. Then in that case, if I come to you to say this and you do and you know that you're not going to be just tell me, you know what, Claire? Don't bother to tell me. I don't want to hear.
Claire, the thing about it, right? I don't know how some people are looking at it, but for me, when somebody come to me in confidence, and I've had situation like that already. There was a guy that had difficulty with his lady, and yeah, he gives me that sort of respect. You see, that's what you got to realize when people come to you in confidence. It's because they see you of a certain level, right? And if you go and you betray the trust and the confidence in you, then you actually put them down. You drop yourself actually if you want to do something like that. And I see it with somebody approaching me in confidence of a situation, right? I give him the best of advice that I could base on the circumstances, right? And which he really had appreciated because he probably wasn't looking at it from that point of view. But I would have felt honored that he coming to me is because he see me at a certain level. So why would you want to betray that person? Just is you know what I mean?
Point taken. Point taken. And hope those people, those of us that are listening to this, if I come to you and I say something to you, I'm saying it to you. And that's I cannot stop telling you about the 5 people that I have in my dear life, the short one that was given to me, that I'm not afraid to say anything to them because these are lifers. And you have to know the people that you want to talk to. Because when you lack the confidence in the people and they betray your trust, then there's no going back because trust is not something that you can just get. You have to earn that trust. And if you can't, then you just leave it alone.
And Craig, guess what usually happened to me? When people tell me things in confidence, you know what usually happen? I usually forget, you know.
And that's a good thing.
Serious.
Because if I
Honestly.
speak and I hear the comment and
No, that's a serious thing.
yes.
I tend to forget quite a lot of the things that once people tell me in confidence, I tend to just
That's why it's
yeah,
confidence, so you
yeah,
forget it.
yeah.
And they know that what they told you, but you may not have to remember it right too because it's not your issue. It's not
Yeah,
your problem.
that
They just came and speak to you because they
and
wanted a listening
you know that
ear.
and I'm seeing it and that is a good thing in a sense too, you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
It is. It is.
yeah.
So, just what it's staggering. Think about it. If 105 men in Grenada die by suicide every day, think about it. Really, really think about it. 105 men die by suicide in the US every day. While we are speaking, somebody is dying by suicide.
Well, I was looking at the figures. I mean, it's frightening. I mean, 79% of this is. I mean,
At
it's really a lot.
27% is the ones, those that are think that they're okay.
Yeah,
79%. So imagine, yes, America is a huge place, but if say we put Grenada just in one little city in the US, the Grenada is wiped out before the end of the year or something like that. If 105 persons, not only men, 5 persons die by suicide every day, that is staggering.
yeah. This is so alarming.
So it is really, really important for us to continue talking about it, and especially we are targeting the men today because men, we know that you suffer in silence. And let me see another comment come. Some men usually give each other talk when they hear about certain issues the fellow brother is facing, and that is true because some of us contribute just to to men doing what they have to do, dying by suicide. Because when you give talk, oh boy, your wife just beat you every time at home you go. We hear in the all the blood, and you coming out and you playing the macho and say, oh, this and that. He knows in his heart that his wife is beating him up, but he doesn't want you to tell him that. Or he may come to you and say, Just boy, I don't even know what's going on. Every night I go home, my wife beating me up and thing. He come and told that in confidence. Now you could say to him, well, what causing it? What are you doing to cause her to do that to you? Because as they say, it takes two to tango, not one. So what are you doing that causing her to want to beat you up because she might be the stronger person to beat you up? And then you take that and you go on the block and you say, hey, boy, if you hear Mary say your wife just beat him up every night, you just broke his moral because he trusted you to not say it. He came to you and tell you so that you can help him out here. And then you do that to him. So how do you expect the next thing is saying, well, you know what? Everybody know my wife does beat me. I can't face it. You call it quits.
Claire, this when I the post that the comment from the person about giving talk. You see, this thing about giving talk is a very very serious thing,
Yes,
and
it is.
especially, and I believe right as parents, yeah, because most of the time it's boys that tend to be on the block, unlike the young ladies. So you got to condition your children as to how to deal with talk on the block.
Hmm.
Because I'm telling you, because of certain talks already, you find that some men would have reacted in such a way, and as a matter of fact, lives would have been lost as a result. because they can't deal with it. They can't come to terms with the talk. And so they react in such a way.
Yep.
And a case of extremity. And guess what happens? Sometimes one person goes to the cemetery and the other goes in penitentiary.
That's
You
true.
lose
You lose two
two
people, two lives
lives.
for the sake of this. Let's take a quick commercial break, yes, and we shall be right back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
'Continue with the conversation on men and mental health stigma and why do men choose to suffer in silence. Now, we get some causes as to what causes men mental health, what causes issues in men mental health. And when I was reading it, I'm like, okay, but it's true. What I'm saying, because we do research. We don't just come fly by night and just say what it is. We do a lot of research and come up with points because we really want to bring it out there so that people will know what we are talking about. It says what causes mental health issues in men. Approximately 1 in 8 men will experience depression, and 1 in 5 men will experience anxiety at some stage of their lives. Here are some risk factors that can make men more vulnerable in addition to the stigma: loneliness and lack of social support that was talked about earlier, history of alcohol or substance abuse, childhood trauma or abuse, internalizing toxic masculinity, untreated mental health issues, poor coping skills, financial dependence or crisis. Do you have any thing to talk about with this. I cannot put myself in your situation. You are a man. Tell me if you're going through any, if you know of anybody that is going through any of this, or you yourself, because we are looking for cure here to make people feel better, to do better.
But the conditions are really, really true as to what leads to it, really and truly, if you ask me. Loneliness and lack of social support, does that apply to me? No. History of alcohol or substance abuse? No. I do drink alcohol, but I have full control. If I decide I'm not drinking today, I'm not drinking. In fact, I went to a wedding reception on Sunday and all I drank was water.
Good for
Just
you.
water.
Good for you.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Childhood trauma abuse. Was that
Not
abuse?
you personally, but
That's
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, childhood trauma, but it could lead to that
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Internalizing toxic masculinity. I don't really understand. Could you unfold this for me?
Toxic masculinity, we talked about it earlier, where men supposed to be strong, culturally they're trained, socially to be pressured to in the way they behave. It says they have to be tough. They have to be anti-femininity, and the power in a range of expression from person to person. So all of this, and that is what makes them a man. The manliness come through this power, toughness, anti-femininity, and power. That is toxic masculinity. The way we are cultured, or men were cultured to grow up, to behave, to act.
Okay. The next one you have is untreated mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about it, and the way I'm seeing it, Claire, it's easy for people to start developing mental health issues. Take, for example, and you know what I'm speaking about. There, a rumor that was going around, still going around. You know of it, I know of it. But if you allow yourself to just sit back and just focus on this rumor that is brought about, you could start losing focus on what you're supposed to be really focusing on to make yourself very comfortable in life and to achieve, that sort of thing. So I can see the reason for that term they have there as to what can lead to that. I understand that too well. Yeah. So coping skills. Yeah, as we say, you don't know how to cope with talk being given to you on the block. So you gotta be strong, you know what I mean? Something happen and you don't know how to deal with it. Your way of reacting might be not in a very nice way, and it could create quite a lot of negative things. So that again, I understand. Financial dependency or crisis.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have any money,
Yeah, finances.
yeah, it can send you up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you're in a
Finance,
crisis and you
yeah.
can't get anybody to help you out.
Yeah.
That can make you go mentally disabled. And you talk about the rumors that are going
Well,
around.
we got to do a topic on the room as well, please.
Well,
I think it's something serious.
Well,
No,
it can affect people mentally.
yes.
And let me tell you the rumors about you and I. And as DMX says, y'all to make me lose my mind up in there. Nah, it ain't happening.
No, I'm not.
Because you see, Jester,
No.
I always say, and I've been saying it forever. I know you for over 40 something years now. You're like a brother, a younger brother to me. And I don't know how people sit in their idle self and come up with things that makes no sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it doesn't make sense.
That only makes sense.
I don't know. And they think that, they know the truth about what they are talking about. And I sit there and I say to you myself, no one is going to. Somebody said to me, Claire, you're a very strong person. I said, I have to be me. I'm not going to let anybody cause me to be who they want me to be. They're going to cause me to be who I am. And if you think that you want to sit there and spread rumors about Claire and Jester, you can spread from now. You could spread it like butter. You could spread it like jam. You could spread it like clothes. You could spread it like whatever you want. It doesn't take effect on me because you know what? When I walk inside here at nights and I go on Queen Victoria up there, I go to sleep in peace and quietness.
Exactly.
There's nothing but them because all the pile of lies that you tell or the stories that you make up is because you lack self-confidence for yourself. And my story sounds better for you, so you can divert it from yourself. But hey, be my guest, knock yourself out.
I do say the same thing, Claire. And I usually say I like the way how I live in my life. You don't hear my name in any stupidness and say, well, just
Exactly.
any quarry, So you have to go just to say this and say that. My life is a very, very busy life. Understand that.
Very busy on that, but
Yeah,
hmm
work. By time for example, yesterday came from work having to do my normal work, professional work, which is electrical. By the time I reach home, just have to try and eat something busily, take a quick shower, go over to the pasture and do commentary on the games. So I really don't have that kind of time for no stupidness, you understand? So these people in them, their idle self, right, would not cause me to lose focus on what I'm dealing with. It just wouldn't happen.
it's worse when men start those rumors. It's even worse when men start rumors like that. And do you have a like that one?
Yeah, it's just
Yes, but we're not going to concentrate on them. I'm not going to find space in my
maybe
head.
maybe when we choose to do the topic of rumors,
Yeah, we can do.
yeah.
So yes, it says, what are the signs and symptoms to look out for when men going through the stigma and stuff like that? It says anyone can experience a mental health condition, but its signs and symptoms can look different in men. It is usually a mix of mental and physical symptoms ranging from developing anxiety disorders to deteriorating sleep health. I just spoke about sleep because when you say I go and sleep, I sleep.
Just like me.
I just throw myself and say go thing and I gone so.
I'm usually a late bed goer, so when I go to sleep, I go to sleep.
I go early, but sometimes according to when my endorphins are happy, they let me stay up and according just a what you doing up? I say I'm sleeping at
I'm not so late last night. It's not a relationship we have. You can call me almost anytime, and I can do the same.
And that didn't just start now. Since in Toronto, we've been chatting like that, and I said, okay, I'm 1 hour behind you. Just leave me alone. I'm going to bed. And this is the thing. But you see, as it says, these are the signs to look out for in men when they're going through their physical symptoms. It says loss of interest in activities they previously enjoyed. That is the number one.
Yeah.
Loss of interest. So if you love football, as I know you love football, and it says, just stay us football universally tonight. Although I'm not coming, you ain't going. But you know what? I ain't feeling it, I'm going to stay home. I started to question, are you okay, Jester?
Yeah, especially if you see, you may not be on one occasion, but if you see I continue to do that like two or three.
I started to question, are you okay? What is going on? Talk to me. I'm going, I don't have to put you lie down on the couch, but talk to me. Tell us what's going on. Tell me, you know, um, increased anger, oh gosh,
irritability,
right? And or aggressiveness. So if you're becoming irritable all of a sudden, or you getting aggressive, if somebody says something to you, if I say something to you that you normally handle and you start going at me, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with Justin. Why are you treating me like that? I giving him a holiday. You got out. I ain't even but no, because I am a good friend of yours, I will question you. And I'll say to you, you don't have to tell me the whole shebang. Tell me what is going on with you, part of it. I'll listen and maybe I can help. But if you start getting angry all the time, I will have to check up on you and say, no, 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 no. This is not who you are. Isolating from friends and family. That again is a big one. Because when you are depressed or you're going through anxiety, the first thing you want to do is to stay by yourself. Stay away from the people that mean something to you. Staying away from your family. You will come down, maybe get something to eat, go back up in your room, or you buy all your snacks, all your goodies, and you keep it in your room, and you sit there and you wouldn't come out. Isolation. And this is the worst thing that you can do to yourself as a person that is going through something. Reduced or increased need to sleep. So sometimes you're sleeping for 2 hours and you're up. Or you might sleep for the whole day and don't even get up. This is a sign of depression, a sign of that you're going through something. All this, walking excessively without taking a break. Because when you do that, when you keep walking, you're busy, busy, busy. I ain't saying that is you. When you're walking busy, busy, you have something in the back that is bothering you that you don't want to think about, you don't want to deal with. So you continue to go, 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 go like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah. So all these things I can look to see how you're coping because you're around me a bit, so I could say no, 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 something is not going right with Jester at all. Problems with sexual desire and performance. Now, this is a big one. When I had someone read it and she says, well, they didn't put out, I said, it's coming, is there? Because men, as you say, and most men says, the ego is deflated when things like that happen. Because it is all about a manhood. But let me tell you all something. You all were meant to live forever on planet Earth. Things happen, life happens, things changes. You have to know and find a way to deal with it to make you a better person. Not go on as though well the world end and there's no tomorrow. Help me out here, Jester.
Well, I'm not in a position to speak on that because I don't have such problem.
Why didn't you say you have a problem? I didn't say it. Let's say it. Well, okay, I take that back. But you said, okay, let me put it up. You are a man. You are a wrong man. And I'm sure that you sometimes speak to, you hear men saying things like that around you. That's what I'm talking. I say, I'm not saying you personally. I have to be very careful how I speak to you because when I speak to you, the rumors go out. Like, so yeah, you're a wrong man and you're wrong people on the block. Sometimes you guys have boy
But
things. So do you
but
hear
think
that?
about it clear when with that particular point,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that men that got to psych up themselves for, and I actually psych up myself for.
You're prepared.
Yeah, you got to prepare yourself because once you continue to live, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you did not die suddenly, you continue to live a normal life. At some point in time, it will happen.
It's gonna go. It's gone.
Exactly.
Bye bye.
So
Audio.
you have to, yeah,
All of the above.
yeah.
All right.
You got to know how to deal with it because it's something that it's almost like inevitable.
And that
Will-
causes a lot of problem in people's relationship
Yeah,
because you see the men sometimes think that it's we the women that cause that to happen to them. But it's a normal thing. How we go through menopause and you all go through andropause. This is part of it. So acceptance and is what's going to help you to be better so that you won't be angry all the time and just blowing up at people that is trying to be your friend or helping you out. Constantly feeling anxious, restless, or on the edge. That could come in with anger, that what again? Irritability and aggressiveness. That could marry up with this. And next one, excessive use of alcohol and drugs.
yes, that is certainly a failure, big failure. As they say, excessive. They didn't say that you cannot have a little drink or so, but excessive, abusing of.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the problem is.
Okay.
You know,
So, all of this is causing men to suffer in silence. And we have no idea how to fix some of this
yeah.
because they have to open up and speak.
But before we move away from that, we would have outlined the points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just moments ago. So parents in the home, all right,
Mm-hmm.
you got to pay particular attention to your children. So if you realize that your son never used to be lying in bed so late on mornings, all right,
Mm-hmm.
he usually used to get up early, come outside, and you know
Mm-hmm.
interact with the family, and all of a sudden you realize that he has become very much resolved. He no longer does that.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, you should start looking into. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Very early. You don't leave it go on for long because you never know what it can lead to. You understand? In other words, all the points there that was made mention of is just things that are happening unusually. That wasn't the norm,
Mm.
right? So you got to take stock.
And you see, just we have to learn to be really, really attentive to people around us, both men and women, because sometimes we see the things that are happening, or we just put it aside. Oh, they must be going through a phase. Oh, he's not doing that. It's it's okay. But this is when they're crying out for help. And sometimes in our own busy lives, we do not pay attention really close to see that this is happening until something happens, Jester. And then we start recollecting and say, but I used to see Jester doing this. And I used to see Claire doing that. But it never occurred to me that she was going through something at the time. Because, let's say that we have a call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good, I'm good. Jester, you nailed it. And I will tell you a true story of something that happened. And parents really need to keep an eye on their children and to take it seriously. I had a coworker. She has a son, and the boy must have been, well, the man must have been in his 30s, maybe late 20s. And I didn't even know she had a son. And then one day she said her son. I said, oh, he's home. So he doesn't go to school. So he must have been younger, maybe in his, like late teens, early 20s. Didn't go to school. Didn't work. Had no friends. Like absolutely no friends. So I kept telling her, I said, well, something is wrong with this guy. Oh, nothing is wrong with him. He just lazy, just this. I said, no, this kid needs to see a doctor or something, right? And oh, nothing is wrong with him. And then one day, apparently, the super had to go to the house, the apartment to do something. And the super opened the door. So when he heard the door was opening, he ran and hid in the closet. So the super thought it was a robber or something came along with it. So they held the guy, and the guy he kept telling them he left there, but the super didn't know that this lady had a son. Anyhow, he went and the super called the police. So the police, they came and then they had to call out work, blah, 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 whatever. And then she came. So that happened. So the boy got even more sheltered to himself in the house. She's always cursing him, telling him, well, yeah, he said to her, I didn't ask to be born, blah, 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 whatever. But if you don't like it, go kill yourself, right? And I'm saying to her, I said, you told your son that? And she said, yes. But guess what happened? One day, they lived on the 22nd floor or something. And the guy committed suicide.
Wow.
And I'm saying like, and I hold him responsible for that,
Hmm.
right? Because I mean, you as a parent, how could you not, how could you ignore all the signs,
Yeah.
He was
right?
crying for help.
That is a true story. Someone that I know that happened to.
Hmm.
So
Look at
as
that.
parents, we really have to watch our children. It doesn't matter how old they are. You got to watch their movement, changes in their behavior, and try to do what you can to help them. And just don't ignore them or tell them, "Well, it's life. You'll deal with it." No,
Yeah.
True.
because this
Quite true.
mental health thing, it's real.
Yeah. Thank you so very much for
Thank
your
you so much.
contribution.
How was
Yeah.
your walk?
Right.
How was the walk?
It was good. It was good. Not
Good.
so cold today, but it was
Good.
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 You,
Good.
you
Always
see,
refreshing,
Yes. Yes.
all right.
Thank you so much. All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, bye
Bye.
bye.
Now you see, parents ought to stop being naive. All right? Stop living in denial of certain situations. Because let me tell you something. Parenting nowadays is a very serious, is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just something easy to deal with. It's actually a challenge. And guess what? As much as you may try to instill the core values, right, of which is so very important for your child to try to walk the straight and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the biggest negative influences is between the home and the community, the home and school. And we all know what peer pressure
Mm-hmm.
can lead to. So ever so often, you always got to keep that close monitoring and interacting with your children,
Mm-hmm.
or else it's easy for them to
You could lose
go
them.
on the other side.
Yes, you can lose them. And just this is why, again, we're doing this mental health program because when a mother, or we as mothers, I'm putting myself in there as mothers, tell our children, oh, you're good for nothing, or nothing you good is going to come out to you. If you hear this enough, you become someone that is not good enough for anything. You cannot do anything right. And this is it. You start spoiling your child life from the day you start telling them nothing good is going to come. You're not good for nothing, and you this and that and the other. Because repetition is for emphasis. And if you keep repeating that to me,
Yeah.
obviously there comes a time when I'll say, you know what? I do whatever I want because I know nobody's going to bother with me because I'm not good. So we as parents, as Jen says, have to be very careful what we open our mouth and say to our children and to people in general.
Yes.
To people
I
in
agree.
general, not only our children. Yes, we're responsible for our children, but what about the people around us that we interact with on a daily basis? If I see you every day and you're looking at something, when I say, oh, Jester, you're nasty, go and play. Jester, you haven't enough clothes on you yesterday, you have it on today, and stuff like that. And I said, I don't want you to be around me. Just when you see me, don't call me.
Yeah, you have to correct your children in the right way, in the right form of expression, what you say to them. You understand? Because there are certain things that have been expressed to children, and you know, of some instances, they have not forgiven their parents up to today.
Nope, nope, they
You
haven't.
have to be careful.
Yes. So let's go. Thoughts of suicide. This list is not conclusive, and it's not necessary that all men, and I say it is not necessary that all men experience all these symptoms. It is thus important to seek help if someone has been experiencing one or more of these symptoms for more than 2 weeks. However, if you are not ready to ask for help, consider using an anonymous and secure mental health platform that also offers self help tools to manage anxiety, depression, and other symptoms of mental health concern. The caller earlier today spoke about he's happy that we now have a ministry that is devoted to mental health issues. So we are making progress. We have somewhere that we can call if you don't feel like talking to me or talking to Jess or talking to your friend or your neighbor, call these people in, what do you call it again? Anonymously. They
Yeah.
don't have to know who you are because chances are, if you go to them face to face, they will say, oh, all that bright Jester playing there, all that bright Clay playing they have problems. You have problems too. I'm not the only one. You choose to build on mine and forget about yours. So we are doing this collectively. Each and every one of us is going through something in our life sometime that we need help with. And good that the Ministry of Social, what do you call it,
Social difference.
Development is there so that we can make those phone calls so that we can get help if you do not want to talk to anybody else. It says tips for men experiencing mental health issues. Seeking help, despite the stigma around men's mental health, not only helps you, but can also encourage others around you to do the same. It takes courage to stand up and put yourself first. Here are some tips that can help. One, look at it as an illness and not a fault or weakness. Use the broken leg analogy. If you had a leg injury, would you be harsh on yourself and not seek help and not do the things to improve it? Mental health issues affect our mood as well as some cognitive functions managed by our brain. The brain is an organ and a part of our body. So try to look at them just like other illness. So point taken here is do not look at what you're going through as weakness. Look at it as an illness. Because if your leg is broken from playing football, you would want to get up at some other time in your life and play football. So you will go to the doctor. You will go to get help so that you can get your leg back to playing form. I thought that this was such a profound way to explain it and express it so that we can really understand
Seriously,
what it is.
I thought so too. Yeah. I really, really thought so too.
Yes.
Really, that the person actually brought it across.
Yes. Okay, number two, seek professional help. You cannot just get over it or slip it off. No matter how hard you try, bottling things up could eventually make mental health issues worse and make you prone to conditions such as substance use disorder, anxiety, and stress. That being said, seeking help from a professional is easier said than done. Thankfully, there are loads of options out there. If you feel you are not ready to have an in person session yet, that is okay. Start small. You can try online options which offer text based sessions with a coach. So you can go online and talk to someone online without them seeing who it is or
Knowing who it is.
knowing who it is.
Yeah.
Because it is you that are looking for. It says, do it in love. That's what Jenny says. Do it in love. So if you're going to do something for me, also not do it because you want to go back and say, Claire have problems,
Yeah.
just do it so that you are helping me, and in turn you're helping yourself. Because if I come to you with an issue, Jester, or come to someone with a problem, what I'm saying to you, yes, you, me, what I'm saying, you might be going through something similar, and what I say can help you to get there too. So it's not a one person thing, it's a collective thing. All of us, as I say, all of us have something that we're dealing with on a daily basis. It's how you muster up the courage to seek help that is going to be the difference between staying alive and dying by suicide.
Exactly. But I don't know how something I feel good, really, really good if I can do something good for somebody. And trust me, if I can't do something good for somebody, just I will not do something bad.
Totally
Really,
agree with
true.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like I always say, if I see a child that is in need, and I cannot treat that child as I treat my two children, I'm leaving that child where it is. I'm not going to take anybody's children, and because it's not mine, it's not my own flesh and blood, that I'll treat that child as an outcast. If I'm taking you in, you're coming in full blown. You are mine. And I won't do it to say I'm getting money, so the money is going to pay my bills for me, so you're there. And so, because a lot of people do that, and that is more abuse to a child. And if it's a little boy that you're doing that, think about how that little boy is going to go into adulthood and then become a man and display the same emotions that he's going through now to his family and the rest of the world.
But really, the next thing too, I cannot know where I came from
Mm-hmm.
and not look to do good things to people. Serious. And
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm in a position to give and not give,
Mm-hmm.
my conscience doesn't allows me to based on where I came from
Mm-hmm.
because I know where I came from.
Of course. And the thing is, a lot of us do forget where we come from, and we don't we don't appreciate that the past is what makes us who we are today. It could be a detriment to us. We don't want to think about the past. We don't if you have a bad past. But if you were to talk about it to someone, that past may turn into a positive for the future because now you're moving forward. You're getting over what it is that you've been going through. Slowly, as I said, it takes one bite at a time to eat an elephant. One bite at a time.
One bite, just one
Mhm.
bite.
Number three, stick to routine. Often, the first things to get affected by deteriorating mental health are your personal care and work routine. Due to a lack of sleep or oversleeping and feeling low on energy, you may find yourself struggling to get out of bed. So, even if it's happening an hour later than your usual time, make sure it happens slow. Make sure it happens slow is okay too. Take it one day at a time. Similarly, ensure that you eat regular meals and get adequate sleep. So again, when you're going through those set of situations, Jester, your sleep is affected. You either don't sleep much or you sleep.
Sleep one way or the other.
Yes, we have a call coming through. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
question to you: what would you say with someone who is in a relationship where one partner obviously has some issues,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want us to counsel because they think that counselors can't do anything for them. But they want you to fix yourself. So you go, you get all your counseling, and then but that person is still in their own way. What do you say to a person who is dealing with
Oh, okay. That is a tough one, but I'm going to go with my opinion, and that's my opinion. If I am in a relationship and we are having issues, obviously, as I said, it takes two to tango. But if you are telling me to fix myself, that means you're telling yourself that nothing is wrong with you. But if I go to therapy to fix myself, I did everything that I had to do to fix me so that the relationship can be better. And I come from the therapist and say everything that I'm going through, and they give me some advice or some assistance as how to deal with it, and I go back to that relationship and I'm still the one that needs fixing, then I will fix myself. I will live for me now. I'll be doing things to make me better, to make myself better, to make my life happier. Because you cannot make somebody do something that they are not accepting that is wrong with them. So when it comes down to it, the bottom line is it's all about you right now to make you be the best person that you can be. It won't be an easy road, but at least you're starting to look at who you are and not how somebody wants you to be about yourself.
Well, as for me, right? When people do start dating each other, start falling in love, there were no counselor around
Right.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We come, you may get married or such, start living together, start bearing children, and then after you find that problems start developing in the relationship, like with the husband and wife. Now, certain things may happen, and you may want a counselor as to judge on an issue, so you probably want justice on something that may happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And the
Mm-hmm.
counselor may be able to be honest, and when you unfold it, then you might have the person that, well, okay, John, you were wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth, you were wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's in a situation of like staying together with problems where the relationship had to continue of being together, I believe that depends on the individual, because sometimes if there is an individual, you may have counseling, but if one of the individual decide they want out of this thing, no matter what amount of counseling you get, it wouldn't change the situation, and you just continue to
So
have a
how do
problem.
you, as a person that like she says, how are you the person that went through all that? Your half. How does that make you feel? Does that affect you, and how do you change it? Can you change the person, or do you have to work on yourself?
Well, you just have to work on yourself. You might just have to accept it for what it has become, because you realize, hey, there is nothing that will change that person. And you cannot, we wouldn't want to encourage you to continue making your life miserable. So you have to make the adjustment so as to make yourself comfortable.
I got you. And that's what I believe in. Because if we're going to make that marriage work, it has to be two of us going to the counseling. And so you may have your opinion. And that is why we are going there. So then you will say, okay, this Claire does that, and Claire does that, and Jester does that, and just but that's why we have therapy, so that they can tell us, well, okay, take a break. Not take a break like separate from each other. Take a break and let's break down what is the cause of what it. And if you tell yourself, oh, they can't do nothing to change me, then it's because you do not want to change. You like the way you are, but do not make my life miserable.
Exactly.
Don't make mine miserable. Okay. So, as Olavachi says, change comes from within. You cannot change people. And I totally believe in that every live long day. You cannot change anybody. And people could pretend for so long, just but there comes a time when the truth comes out. Your true colors come out blossoming like a desert rose. You will see it.
We'll just get this guy to look at desert rose.
Don't mind my business. Yes. So let's go. Get moving with exercise. And that again plays a big key, a big role in you mentally.
Yeah.
It says exercise, walk or swim or do any physical activities that may make you feel good, even if it's just for 15 to 20 minutes a day. Exercise is a natural way to boost your happy hormones and increase your confidence and energy level. You may not see the effects of physical activity immediately, but consistency is key. Good physical health is directly related to your mental health as well. So now you see why I beat the pavement?
Certainly, Claire.
I beat in that pavement as though I'm paying for it. It's free.
Exercising is so good. First of all, it's good for your health,
Mm-hmm.
your physical health, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you to broaden your horizon,
Mm-hmm.
and stay focused on certain things that you like to achieve. It bring out new ideas. There are just so many benefits from exercising that if I start to point out, I wouldn't finish.
Well, the benefit is like, let me give you the first benefit. Your skin, you get healthy looking skin. And like I say to people, I don't sweat, I just glow. And that is all from me beating the pavement for free. You don't have to pay. Jenny just came out from beating the pavement. When you see her skin, gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's the first benefit of the exercise. You start to see your skin looking really, really healthy. And regardless of what age you are, Jester, and you exercising, your pores are open, you're going to have lovely skin.
But
Next one.
we don't continue.
What are you cutting me for?
It's important that you make that point there because you know there are some ladies, right? They are so nice. And when you listen to them talk, it's like it's a real bad thing to sweat. Seriously, you get an impression from some ladies.
We do not sweat, we glow.
No,
Glow. No, no, it's true.
but on a serious note,
Yes.
on a serious
Yeah.
note, I
I
don't
do
want to
not mind.
sweat.
I'm sweating, but I don't want to be
Seriously,
stink. There's a difference.
sweating is good.
Yeah.
It's like think about putting water in a barrel and you have it covered it for all these months.
Algae,
What do you think will happen?
they call it normal, in the normal term is lali.
Exactly.
In the scientific tone is algae. You get algae, even though when you pull the water bottles and you leave it there to save water, go to flush your toilet and so. When you look at the bottom of the bottle, is green because the water is not breathing; it's just there.
Yeah.
But if your skin is breathing, your pores are open.
Yeah.
Beautiful skin. Look.
So
Sir.
let me put in simple terms for you. See it as water in a barrel that are there months, ladies, when you are not sweating.
Okay, let me see. Lorna says for it to work, the first step the other person has to do is to recognize that they have allergy. We have another call. Let's take it. Good morning.
Good morning, Claire. Good morning. How are you?
We are good. And
Good morning, sir.
right. That's what it
Good
right there.
morning, Jester. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm all right.
Great. And your Christmas is shaping up nicely?
Well, me and Christmas, you know where I stand with Christmas for me. I'm not this type of Christmas person in such form. If you ask me, I wish that the time just come and go already. Serious.
Well, you're preaching to the choir, my friend.
And let's sing.
You're preaching
Yeah.
to the choir. Good morning, you guys. How are you doing today? It sounds like a very interesting topic. And Claire, we've spoken about this so many times. So many men is suffering in silence, as you rightfully started off saying. And I've been listening for a while, and I'm compelled to call at this moment to say that, you know, I too went through certain issues in my lifetime where I had to seek counseling because certain things in my life was not going the way it should have. And my behaviors, my actions, my words were not what it should have been um, in the normal societal way. So I sought, actively seeked out help, right? And that made me a so much better person, put me in a different space mentally and and brought me along. Would I say I'm perfect? No way. Not even close. Not even close. Full of flaws. Yeah? I am full of flaws. However, you know, when they find a diamond in the mine, it is full of flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Not till they take it and polish, do that hundreds of hours of work on it, then you start to see the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I see myself as a diamond and I'm going through the process of being polished and shaped into this beautiful gem that I will be.
Well
I'm not
said.
there yet, but it's a process.
Yes.
It's a process. It's a process. Yeah. Um, but I would like to speak to primarily men who's going through so much issues. Listen to me. Um, I've seen so many men, especially after COVID, that 2, 3 months lockdown, that did a number on a number of us. I'm not saying women did not go through some issues too, but I'm specifically talking about men. Your ability to earn, your relationship with your family in that household. Could you imagine a man who went out and worked like 12 hours for the day And came by the time he left, when he leaves in the morning, the children, the wife, and everybody's not up yet doing anything. When you come home in the evening, everybody's getting ready to go to bed. And then, boom, turn that all off. And you have to be in that house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How does he adjust to that? Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
take its toll also. Trying to adjust with the children around and making the noises, they're doing what they do, what the children do. He doesn't see that on a consistent time. Yeah, maybe just on the weekend he's home and stuff like that. That takes some adjustment to get to. You have to adjust yourself to dealing with that. Not being able to earn money, not being able to provide, and all those things takes its toll on people. So for me, I see it mushroomed at that point in time. And it hasn't abated since. It just keeps growing. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Claire, you've started this program on mental health to kind of educate people, not kind of, to educate people of the issues and to give them tips that they can use to help themselves cope with the situation they may find themselves in. But for me, one of the biggest things that stopped me from seeking um, help before I make the decision is the confidentiality of it. That was one of my biggest stalling points, I would say. I if I go and speak to this person, would my business be out on the street? Would I hear it from somebody else? How confidential is this person? I don't even know this person. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But I took a leap of faith. I did. I just jumped in and says, okay, you're it. I am going to take the chance on you. And it's up to you to betray me in terms of the confidentiality. I'm taking a chance on you. I took a chance on that person, and they did not break the confidentiality that we have developed, and I got the help I needed. But like I says, that's the biggest thing. Now, people would say to you as a man, "Oh, just get over it. What's the matter with you? Well,
Mm-hmm.
just get over it. Nothing. If it's a
Yeah.
relationship with you, just leave she or whatever the situation or whatever the situation is. You don't have to deal with that. Blah blah. No, not necessarily has to be there. Yeah, and if it's a relationship, it takes two persons to have a relationship. You can't have a relationship with yourself. If you understand what I'm saying, a
Mm-hmm.
romantic relationship, if you want to put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
can be by yourself. Yeah, but if it is, you have to be able to engage with that person. And Claire, I always say you have to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those uncomfortable
Mhm.
conversations, you must have that. And if you're going to have one of those uncomfortable conversations, you have to be in a comfortable place. By that I mean you can't be sitting in the middle of a restaurant. You can't be sitting in the middle of a group of people. You have to be someplace where both of you are comfortable in the environment that you find yourself in, and then start having that conversation. Yeah.
Mm.
And you have to have it as a conversation. It's not an argument. It's not a debate. You say X, I say Y, you say dark, I say white. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
Yes.
not a
it's a
contest.
conversation. Exactly. It's a conversation. I am actively listening to you, meaning I have eye contact. I'm not playing with my device. I'm not reading something. I'm not looking off in the distance. We are having a conversation. We are actively engaged.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, we communicate 95% with our bodies
Yes.
without saying a word. Yeah, you can look at Jester and you say, Jester, what's wrong with you? Nothing. And you're looking at Jester and say, Jester, you can't tell me nothing is wrong with you. You're tied up like a knot and you tell me nothing is wrong with you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. So if you're having that active conversation, you actively engage in the conversation, you have eye contact, you're watching the person when they're talking, and when they're telling you something that's certain, you can see the hurt on them. You can feel the hurt from them. So you understand this person is really hurting by either your actions, your words, of what you've done, so that you now have to take proactive actions to say, you know what, I need to check myself. What's triggering me off? What's getting me to do this? If you're having suicidal thoughts, please, 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 please. I know, Claire, you've been giving out the numbers. make contact with one of these people, one of these agencies. Yeah, they are
Mm-hmm.
confidential and they will keep your information. But if you need help and you're talking about committing suicide, they will send somebody to check on you to ensure that you're okay. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what they do. So for the men out there, please talk to somebody, pick somebody. Even if you feel that they're going to betray you, well, then you know what you have to do. However, if you pick somebody, give them the chance to listen to you. Yeah.
Yes.
And people out there, if somebody comes to you and they want to speak to you, it could be a stranger. Some people say, it's either, I don't know this guy. I'm just going to go up and tell him everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the way for you to release. The guy don't know you, the person don't know you from Adam. They can I talk to you for a minute? And they just spill everything out. Brr, 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 and it's
Bubble
out.
diarrhea.
It's just out of them. It's just out of them. Yes, they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know you. I'm not going to see you again. So it's easy for me to just blurt it all out to you. Yeah. And this is one another way of you just releasing all that pent up emotion. And Claire,
Yes,
you
sir.
spoke about the health aspect of doing some exercise and
Mm-hmm.
how beneficial it is,
Mm-hmm.
releasing some of that stress is
Mm-hmm.
very beneficial to you. You know, I was reading a book just the other day that up down to tooth decay comes from stress, from
Mm-hmm.
keeping all these things bottled up inside you. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
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 Gum disease and all these things
Mm-hmm.
because you're so
Mm-hmm.
tight and stressed out, you're just clenching your jaw all the time.
Yes.
All those things you need to find a way to release. Yeah,
Yes,
like
sir.
a pressure cooker,
Mm-hmm.
pull that valve and let the steam out.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to somebody, let it out.
Thank
Thank
you
you guys
so
for
very much.
having me, and
You know,
fantastic show.
before
Thank
you
you so
leave,
much.
let me say thank you for encouraging me from the beginning to do this over and over, and especially for men. And I know when I talk about men, just as like Kelly talking about men again, but I'm not speaking about men to put them down. I'm talking about men to make them better because as you see now, how suffering in silence is doing detrimental things to their health, their mental well-being. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
Chester,
wonderful day, sir.
you too, my friend.
Right.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.
You know, we're having some very interesting comments here. We talked about, you said when the person says they go and they talk to the therapist and they do their part. Do you walk away from the relationship if the person is not gonna make a difference in their life? Like nothing is wrong with them. You have to, it says again, you also have to give yourself time. 100% you have to give yourself the time. People should never tell you get over something, especially when you think you are in love. Because when you think you're in love and everybody telling you, it gives you makes you crazy. Like what are they telling me this and what are they telling me that for? And it started with Lorna saying that the person have to admit to themselves that they need help. And that is the first thing. If you're an alcoholic and you tell yourself you're drinking and nothing is wrong with you, then no one is going to tell you that you need help. But if you are light bulb go off and you say to yourself, you know what? I think I'm drinking too much. I cannot function. I need to go get help. This is the first step to,
Admittance.
yes,
Yeah.
admittance. We may have to skip a few because just so we are going down to the thing. Let me go to seek support. Speaking out about mental health, especially for men, is no easy task with all the stigma around it. However, you may find it surprising how many other men may have the same thoughts, feelings, and emotions as you do. We spoke about that. Talk to a trusted family member or friend about how you have been feeling. It doesn't have to be all at once. You can always start by sharing bit by bit. A strong, non judgmental support system can be extremely helpful during tough times. Nicholas covered all of that. It says undertake new activities. One of the main symptoms of depression and most mental health issues is losing interest in things you enjoyed before. Football for you, dancing for me. Consider trying something new and different that will give you a sense of achievement every day. It could be helping someone or playing with your pet or painting or anything that would make you feel happy and good about yourself. So me, it could be gardening. I don't know for you what it is. Come and fix my thing here. You didn't know you're coming up now. Coming and fix the USB so that we get
Something wrong with you.
I know. Something like that. It says try breathing exercises. Practice a daily relaxation of mindfulness based exercise that will help you stay calm, focused, and grounded. A simple exercise could be to just breathe deeply and focus on the experience of breathing. Observe how the breath goes in slowly. Inflate your abdomen. You can keep your hand on your abdomen to exercise, to experience this. Then how the abdomen deflates as you breathe out slowly. Let's try it. Come on, Dexter. Put your hand on your stomach here. Come on.
What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, and take a deep breath in and you go.
Now let's move on with thing now.
And you go.
Like seriously.
Deep breathing. This is what it's saying. That's making it up. This is what it is saying. You do that. Breathe deeply so that you can let the badness out, let the emotions come out, and then you might be able to talk to someone. Breathe. It is all about it. Your breath, how you breathe, is what keeps you active. Let me say good morning to Spice from out there in TO. No, I lied. He's in New York right now. Hope all is well and hope you're awake and everything is going fine. He says, identify your stresses at work. Whether it's a lack of recognition or difficulty saying no to task, identify these triggers is a good first step in learning how to cope with such events. So at work, identify what it is that sets you off, and then you can work around it to make it better. Try to develop a connection with your workers, with your co-workers. If they're willing, try talking to your co-workers and build a relationship where you can confide in them about things troubling you at work. Even a simple venting can lessen your burden, which is true. Because sometimes we vent, and as soon as you finish venting, you feel better because at least you tell someone it is okay. Take breaks during work, and that is very, very good. Remember to take sufficient breaks during your work hours. Overworking could lead to additional stress, which can eventually become a trigger. Try to take out some time during your work hours or simply relax. Practice breathing exercises or do more other mindful exercises. And again, breathing just to breathe.
And you're taking a break yet?
You don't take break?
You
Talks about confiding in your HR worker. You know, if you can't talk to anybody else, the HR people are the people that should hold everything you say to them in confidence. So if you have a good HR team and somebody that you feel comfortable with about speaking to what is going on with your life, hit that HR person. It says look into EAP, that's Employee Assistance Program resources at work. Most companies provide EAP's resources specifically for mental health care, such as counseling or therapy sessions. Talk to your organization's HR department and get information on what kind of resources are available for you. So we have the Ministry of Social development.
Yeah.
You can call there and find out who is the person that they have on staff that will be able to help you with the issues that you're going through. And if you have a friend that is struggling with mental health issues, if you know someone who is struggling with his mental health, you can support him by offering support and helping him find a mental health professional if he is willing. It is important to remember that a person suffering from mental health issues like depression cannot simply get over it. So please, and I'm begging, and we are begging, do not say to me, if I come to you and say something, oh, Claire, just get over it. It is not easy to do that. And you saying that yourself, you know, if you're going through certain things in your life, you just cannot get over it.
No, but Claire, the thing about it, right, is not is the manner in which you choose to tell the person.
Get over it.
You could tell somebody get over something, but it's like you decide to throw down somebody, but you put some cushion and thing on the ground so you know that they won't
Cushion
break.
they fall.
Yeah, but the way you might choose to tell a person that again is just let them fall on the bare concrete and mash up themselves.
I know, like get over it.
Hey,
You know, the funny thing, as I say, you cannot catch flies with vinegar. It has to have a bit of a honey, a little bit of sweetness, and they can cheat. So as you say, it's how you approach someone. I could come to you and say, Jester, leave me alone if I'm going through something. And you could come to me and you say, Claire, this is, and I say, Jester, you know what, at this time, just leave me alone.
I would prefer to be alone. You know what I mean?
So that I can divulge what that I'm going through. And when I'm ready, I'm gonna talk to you. But you just come and tell me get over it. Get over what? I'm gonna get over you.
It all has to do with
It's the
tonal
way you
quality, and I
approach.
tell you that makes a big difference as to how you communicate
Mhm.
with people.
Communication is key. As the caller that we had very early this morning talk about the communication and the social being of talking to someone. This is the key to making anybody at all that's going through mental issues feel better of themselves. They build confidence. They know that they can talk to someone in confidence. All of these things is going to help. What you smiling at?
No, as we talk about tonal quality, I remember from the wedding reception and the person that went up, the bride's sister, you know, and she was like, and then calling the person name in such a way, like if it's Joshua, Joshua, Joshua. You know the manner in which you
Saying it,
express it,
yes.
you could know what sort of message that is coming behind that
Mm-hmm.
tonal.
Yes, yes, yes. We have a call coming through. Good morning, Bean. How are you? Hello?
Hello, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody doing?
We are doing good.
Thank
Good.
We are doing
And doing better now that you call.
Very interesting topic today. And I just wanted to say, talking to a trusted family or friend about how you feel when you're going through a mental issue is very important because it can help the person to get out of that state even faster because they know that they have somebody they can go to. And this is a true experience I had at work. I had this coworker, we were very good friends. And we've been working together maybe about 15 years. And then she decided to go elsewhere because someone that we both knew were inviting her to come work with them. Now, I advised her against it. I told her it was not a good decision. But she decided to go anywhere. But soon after she left, she realized that it was a bad decision and she had a mental breakdown, full mental breakdown. She was hospitalized, she had to go on medication and everything. Now, all through that time, she would call me, and sometimes for hours, I'm just listening to her because she's regretting and going back to how many years she was with us, and then she left, and she made this mistake, and I would just encourage her. And eventually, she got out of that state. Today, she's fine. In fact, we went for lunch just a few Fridays ago. And she said to me, thanks for listening to her. And I said, well, that's what friends are for. That even when you're going through terrible times, we don't desert you. We stick with you and we listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I never told her that I told you so, that you should not leave. Because at that time, all she needed was encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to listen and it's very important to know what to say to that person at the time that they're going through this mental distress. Because eventually, if you encourage them, you coach them, they will come out of it and they will look back at it as an experience that they had gone through. So, bye.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
very much. So much. Thank you. And we're almost at the end of it, Jester. You know, when you get these calls and you get the comments on it, it makes you feel really, really good because people are really feeling what it is that that we're talking about, and they know they go through the experiences themselves.
Yeah.
And if they didn't go through the experience themselves, they know someone that went through it. So the last part of it says, if it seems like they are not ready, like if you're trying to help a friend, and it seems that they are not ready to accept help or treatment, consider suggesting online mental health apps that offer anonymity. Most importantly, be there for him or her as much as you can and avoid forcing him into anything. And as Lorna says, she listened for hours and hours and hours. She could have said, but I told you so you shouldn't.
Yeah.
By saying that, it's like, get over it. That's what she's saying. You make that decision, leave. And you leave, do deal with it. But by listening to that person and just hearing it, the friend was able to get over it. And let me tell you, I would need people like that in my life to be that. I have one, I have two, I have three, I have four, I have five of them that will listen to what I have to say. And likewise, I will listen to what they have to say. We get into it and we talk about it. And that is what's going to make a difference in each and every one of us' lives. Faithlin Harley Douglas, good morning to you. I know you were late and we are at the end, but thank you for checking in and I know you're listening. But Jester, we have come to the end of it. And let me say thank you to all the callers and everyone that meets every Tuesday. Make this a place that we can come together and have discussions on how to be better. And if, as I say, we save one life, just one, or even half of a life, as my daughter said, there's no half of a life. Half of a life, or make you do something that is different to make you better, I'm all for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That really was a real big topic to declare, honestly.
That's why we couldn't do it last week in an hour.
Yeah, really, really big topic.
Yes.
I just want to thank all the listeners and viewers of the Stick 5 and Mental Health Show. Thank you for your unwavering support. Yeah, we do appreciate it. Until next week, Tuesday, God's will. Claire, we're going right through.
Yeah, we don't have next week Tuesday. We want Christmas over
Yeah.
Christmas. It doesn't make a difference to us. We have
Of
in our
course
program
not.
next
Yeah.
week. And before I leave, it is a few days before the Christmas day. And still, I'm still sticking it. Do not go spend money that you do not have. Do not go spend extravagantly for
Unnecessarily.
unnecessary things. Stick with your budget. Stick with your list when you go to the grocery store. This is going to prevent you from going through mental disabilities over when December is over. And let me say thank you to everyone. Acha, bon voyage, and hopefully we shall see in the near future. Thank you all.